The internet is buzzing, fans are shocked, and the family is left divided like never before. Today, we're diving into a story that has been hidden in plain sight for years. A story that, until now, Charlie Kirk's parents have desperately tried to keep under wraps. What really happened behind closed doors? What secrets has Erica Kirk been hiding? And why are Charlie's own parents finally breaking their silence? Emotions ran high, accusations flew, and the truth, as shocking as it is, might just change the way you see this family forever. Sources close to the family claim that tensions had been simmering for years, but nobody outside the inner circle knew the full extent of the drama. Erica Kirk, long viewed as the perfect daughter-in-law, suddenly finds herself at the center of a whirlwind of controversy. Allegations are surfacing about betrayals, secret meetings, and confrontations that no one ever expected. Friends and family alike are stunned, and even longtime fans are struggling to process what's being revealed. The whispers started months ago, but now Charlie Kirk's parents are stepping forward with a confession that could change everything. What did they know, and why did they hide it for so long? Did they fear the backlash? Or were they protecting someone in the family? One source close to the situation revealed, they've kept this secret to avoid tearing the family apart. But now, they just couldn't stay silent anymore. The revelations are said to involve emotional confrontations, heated arguments, and shocking admissions that have left the family reeling. And it doesn't stop there. Erica's own actions are coming under scrutiny, and according to insiders, she has responded in ways no one anticipated, actions that only intensified the conflict. Fans are questioning every move, every decision, and every hidden motive. Social media is exploding with reactions, theories, and speculations. Some are sympathetic, some outraged, but one thing is certain: the truth, once revealed, has left everyone questioning what they thought they knew about the Kirk family. Stay tuned, because in this video, we're going deep into the drama, exposing hidden truths, reliving shocking confrontations, and revealing secrets that were meant to stay buried. By the end, you might never look at Erica Kirk or Charlie Kirk's family the same way again. This is the story that was kept hidden for years, and today, we bring you every shocking detail. The storm began quietly, almost imperceptibly, behind the polished facades and perfectly curated public appearances. To the outside world, Erica Kirk's life with Charlie appeared flawless. The smiling pictures, the glamorous events, the seemingly perfect social media updates all painted a picture of a family living their best life, untouched by scandal or controversy. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. Cracks so deep that no filter or PR statement could hide them. Those closest to the situation had sensed the tension for months. But nobody outside the inner circle could have predicted the explosive revelations that were about to surface. It all started with subtle signs, whispers in hallways, phone calls that ended abruptly, and secretive messages exchanged in hushed tones. Family members noticed Erica's growing distance from Charlie's parents, a distance that was not just physical but emotional, marked by avoidance, cold stares, and moments of unmistakable frustration. Charlie, caught between his wife and his parents, felt the strain silently building. For years, he had believed that loyalty and love could bridge any divide. But he was about to discover that some divides were far wider and deeper than he could have imagined. Fans who had admired Erica for her charm and poise began to notice changes as well. Subtle hints in interviews, fleeting comments in social media posts, and cryptic responses to questions that should have been routine sparked speculation. Was she unhappy? Was there conflict brewing that the public could not see? People whispered theories, but nobody expected the scale of the truth that would emerge. And then came the first sign that things were far more serious than anyone had imagined. A series of private revelations from those closest to the family. Charlie Kirk's parents, normally protective of their private lives and careful to maintain appearances, began to speak, but only in confidence. Friends and insiders report that emotions ran high during these disclosures, with anger, disappointment, and hurt surfacing in ways that had been suppressed for years. The parents revealed that Erica's behavior had been a source of tension almost from the beginning, not in small, petty ways, but in actions that left lasting impact. Choices that had seemed harmless on the surface were, in truth, the beginning of a pattern that caused conflict, strained relationships, and deep-seated resentment. As these revelations came to light, the narrative of a happy, united family began to unravel. What had been presented publicly as simple disagreements now appeared as layered conflicts, each more intricate and damaging than the last. Family members described situations where trust was eroded, expectations were unmet, and emotional manipulation, whether intentional or not, had left lasting scars. Even the siblings and extended relatives, who had previously remained neutral, could no longer deny the signs. The family, once a cohesive unit, was now fractured along emotional fault lines, each fissure deepened by secrets long buried. The insiders described moments of confrontation that were intense, with emotions spilling over in ways that shocked even those present. Private dinners that should have been celebratory turned into tense exchanges filled with sharp words and cold silences. Gatherings that once brought joy now carried the weight of anticipation, fear, and unspoken accusations. Friends of the family who had only observed from the outside expressed disbelief at the level of intensity, noting that the tension seemed almost palpable, a storm brewing just beneath the surface of carefully maintained civility. And yet, amidst all the tension, there was a story of restraint and suppression. Charlie's parents, though deeply hurt, had for years chosen silence, believing that protecting their son and maintaining appearances was more important than airing grievances. Erica, too, appeared to be aware of this delicate balance, strategically navigating interactions to maintain her public image while privately asserting her own influence within the family. This delicate dance, however, could only last so long. Human emotions, after all, have a limit, and cracks eventually turn into chasms. Then came the turning point, the moment when restraint finally gave way to revelation. According to insiders, a series of events unfolded in rapid succession. Private conversations leaked, emotions boiled over, and long-hidden grievances erupted into full-scale confrontations. The first major disclosure involved decisions that Erica had made which directly conflicted with the expectations of Charlie's parents. Decisions that had gone unnoticed by the public but caused deep emotional rifts within the family. These weren't minor disagreements about household management or social engagements. These were choices that struck at the core of trust, loyalty, and familial respect. In the weeks that followed, the tension escalated exponentially. Each revelation seemed to provoke another, as if the family had been holding back a flood of teased, unspoken truths for years, and now the dam had finally broken. Social media, usually a source of curated perfection, became a subtle battleground. Cryptic posts,
years, and that this wasn't the first time she crossed the line. She hinted at prior incidents, suggesting that what fans saw on camera was just the tip of a toxic iceberg. Then came the interviews, talk shows, gossip bloggers, and even former Love and Hip Hop castmates chimed in, many hinting that this breakup had been a long time coming. One insider claimed that Papoose had nearly walked out 2 years ago but stayed for the brand. Another stated that Remy had been resenting him for holding her back creatively and that their business dealings had become more of a prison than a partnership. The picture was becoming clearer and darker. This wasn't just a marital spat. It wasn't even just infidelity. This was a full-blown collapse of trust, built on years of hidden tension, suppressed resentment, and unspoken battles. The love they once displayed so proudly on red carpets and reality TV had decayed behind the scenes, slowly and painfully. And yet, even after all this, there was no official statement from either side. That silence was deafening. Papooses. Instagram remained untouched except for one cryptic post, a black screen with a single word, enough. It was posted, then deleted, then reposted again with no caption. Remy, on the other hand, posted nothing, no statement. No denial, not even a vague quote, just radio silence. Fans started speculating whether lawyers were involved. Some suggested a gag order, others believed the couple were waiting to finalize terms before going public. But whatever the reason, their silence only added fuel to the already roaring fire. The heartbreak wasn't just theirs, it was communal. Because this wasn't just about two people falling out of love. This was about what they represented. Black love, loyalty, second chances, redemption. Papoose and Remy were a symbol, and that symbol was now broken, lying in pieces across the internet. But the drama wasn't over. In fact, it was just beginning. A leaked phone call allegedly, featuring Remy's voice, began circulating, an emotional conversation filled with regret and desperation. Though unconfirmed, fans believed it was her attempt to contact Papoose after the fallout. The voice on the tape was pleading, sobbing, insisting that things weren't what they seemed. Some believed it, others called it damage control. Meanwhile, defense doivent. Industry insiders claimed that Remy's upcoming projects are being re-evaluated. Her PR team reportedly scrambled to spin the story, but with so much already out in the public, the damage was nearly irreversible. On the flip side, Papoose began receiving a surge of support, particularly from male fans who hailed him as a symbol of quiet strength, finally finding its voice. The narrative was shifting, and it was no longer just about heartbreak. It was about accountability. As the dust settled on that viral moment, fans were left with more questions than answers. What really happened in that house? Was this the final end, or just a dramatic pause before reconciliation? Were the rumors true about Remy's secret hotel meetings? And would Papoose finally break his silence and tell his side of the story? All signs pointed to one truth: the story wasn't finished. The silence would soon be broken. And when it was, the fallout would be even more explosive than anyone imagined. What followed after the video's virality wasn't just heartbreak, it was an emotional wildfire. The kind of media storm that not only shatters a couple's privacy, but also redefines the way the world sees them. As fans refreshed their timelines obsessively, one question grew louder and heavier with each passing hour. Why now? Because if anyone had asked the world just months ago, Papoose and Remy Ma were thriving, at least on the surface. They were posting coordinated photo shoots, attending red carpets hand in hand, and even teasing a joint album. Their image was airtight. But now that very image was being picked apart by the masses, clue by clue, frame by frame. Within 24 hours of the footage being released, a former production assistant from Love and Hip Hop came forward anonymously with shocking claims. According to her, the couple's relationship had started crumbling during the final season they appeared on the show together. She described frequent tension on set, passive-aggressive comments off camera, and cold silences between takes. Apparently, many scenes portraying them as a strong, united front were the product of careful editing. But the most chilling revelation came next. She claimed that during one of the late-night filming sessions, Remy had stormed off set after, accusing Papoose of holding her back creatively. She allegedly said, "I'm tired of pretending for this brand. I need my own freedom." At the time, producers chalked it up to stress. But now, with everything unfolding publicly, fans began to connect the dots. The freedom she spoke about may have been far deeper than a career move. It was now speculated to be the emotional distance she had long craved. And Papoose, the loyal, ever-present husband, had been standing in the way of that. But it wasn't just fans digging for dirt. The media frenzy had turned ruthless. Major gossip blogs released exclusive timelines breaking down Remy's outings, wardrobe choices, and cryptic captions over the past year. One post pointed out how she had stopped wearing her wedding ring months ago. Another zoomed in on a particular necklace she'd worn in multiple photos, a gift they claimed not from Papoose, but from her alleged new partner. That name hadn't yet surfaced, but the whispers were getting louder. As the online debate raged on, so did the internal storm within both their personal lives. Friends close to Papoose reported that he had gone completely off the grid. Phones off, no studio sessions, no public appearances, just complete silence. One longtime friend said he hadn't seen Papoose this closed off since Remy's original. Arrest, and that's when the conversation shifted from betrayal to emotional devastation. Because this wasn't just a man reacting out of anger. This was a man whose world had collapsed. The same man who had postponed his own dreams, raised their children while she served time, defended her when the world mocked her, and rebuilt her career from the ground up, had now been left in emotional ruins. That pain was evident in the only piece of content he had allowed to remain online, a haunting poem captioned with nothing but a black heart emoji. The poem was filled with metaphors of betrayal, fire, and lost kingdoms. Though he never mentioned Remy by name, it was clear who the lines were about. Meanwhile, Remy's world was also spinning, but in a very different direction. She was spotted attending a private dinner in Manhattan just 3 nights after being thrown out. Wearing sunglasses and surrounded by her team, she walked past. Paparazzi with calculated confidence. Some interpreted this as resilience, others called it heartless. But one thing was obvious, she was ready to control the narrative. In fact, sources confirmed that Remy had been preparing a multi-part sit-down with a major media outlet. It was expected to drop within the week. Her team was reportedly crafting a redemption arc, one that would position her as misunderstood, silenced, and emotionally abandoned within the marriage. Whether or not that narrative held any truth didn't matter. What mattered was the impact. Remy knew how to play the industry. And with public sympathy hanging in the balance, this was her chance to win it back. But the universe wasn't done. Stirring the pot. A former flame from Remy's past, an ex who had previously stayed out of the spotlight, suddenly broke his silence. In a since-deleted livestream, he hinted that he and Remy had reconnected over the past year. His story was vague, filled with strategically placed no comments, but what he did say was enough to send shockwaves across the culture blogs. He claimed that Remy had been emotionally leaning on him for a while, that she confided in him about the prison of her marriage and how she felt like she had lost herself trying to keep up appearances. Fans went wild. Was this the mystery man from the hotel? Was Remy truly seeking escape all along? And if so, why hadn't Papoose seen the signs? The public split began affecting their inner circle more than anyone expected. Their daughter, often kept out of the spotlight, suddenly became the center of public concern. Was she staying with Papoose? Had she witnessed the confrontation? Speculation swirled even as both parents tried to shield her from the media circus. Meanwhile, family friends began taking sides. Remy's cousin posted a series of angry tweets, accusing Papoose of manipulating the narrative and emotionally gaslighting Remy for years. But Papoose's camp hit back with receipts, screenshots, photos, past text messages between Remy and unnamed male contacts. The shade was no longer subtle, it was outright war. Then an unexpected twist brought the internet to a halt. A leaked audio file, supposedly recorded months before the fallout, featured Papoose having a raw conversation with a friend. In it, he confided that he felt like he was losing her to the industry, and that she don't look at me the same. The emotion in his voice was unmistakable: exhaustion, confusion, sadness. That single file humanized him in a way no public post ever could. Suddenly, the narrative tilted in his favor again. People began revisiting old interviews. Footage of Papoose praising Remy, footage of him standing silently behind her, smiling supportively. A clip resurfaced of him breaking down during her prison release, holding her like she was the most valuable thing in his life. Prison release, holding her like she was the most valuable thing, in his life. Comment sections filled with regretful fans. Many apologized for judging too soon. But with every sympathy post came a counter-argument. Remy's defenders claimed that loyalty doesn't excuse control. That behind his quiet demeanor, Papoose was emotionally dominant, always making himself the victim while painting Remy as ungrateful. The debate became philosophical. Was this the tragic fall of a man betrayed? Or the long overdue liberation of a woman suffocating under an outdated definition of love? Then, the biggest bombshell dropped yet. A major blog released security footage from a separate hotel weeks before the viral video. In it, Remy is seen entering a suite with none other than a famous industry manager, someone both she and Papoose had worked with in the past. This wasn't just a casual visit. The timestamp showed her arriving at midnight and not leaving until nearly 5 a.m. That was the breaking point for many fans. Accusations of infidelity were no longer just speculation, they were practically confirmed. And the man in question? He was married. The scandal deepened. Headlines screamed betrayal. Podcasts dissected the footage frame by frame. YouTubers uploaded hour-long exposes. Twitter lit up with commentary, memes, and reactions. And for the first time in over a decade, Remy Ma's name trended not for music, not for triumph, but for betrayal. Still, Papoose remained silent. And that silence, that heartbreaking, stone-cold silence, became his loudest message yet. As the days passed, he unfollowed nearly everyone on social media, archived their photos, deleted years of shared content. It was as if he was erasing their story from his life. A visual breakup that left fans speechless. But no amount of deletion could erase the years they had shared. No amount of silence could undo the legacy they had built and now destroyed. By the end of the week, the world no longer asked if they were over. The world knew they were done. The fairy tale was finished, and yet the fallout was just beginning. Because in love, especially public love, the real damage isn't done. When the hearts break, it's done when the world picks a side. And just like that, the legacy of one of hip-hop's most admired love stories lay in ashes, scattered across the digital battlefield of likes, comments, and reposts. With each passing hour, the gap between Remy Ma and Papoose widened, not just emotionally, but publicly, socially, and reputationally. They were no longer being spoken about as a couple. They were being dissected as opposing forces in a saga of heartbreak, scandal, and the betrayal. By now, the public didn't want answers, they wanted justice. Fans were no longer merely watching, they were investigating. Searching through old clips, digging up forgotten interviews, scrutinizing lyrics for hidden meanings. Every gesture from the past became suspicious. Every quote was being reread with new eyes. The illusion of trust was gone, and its place stood a courtroom of public opinion. One of the biggest twists in this ongoing narrative emerged when an anonymous source leaked documents that hinted toward divorce proceedings, already being quietly initiated well before the viral video. If these documents were real, it meant that the fallout had been brewing behind closed doors for months. The dramatic public ejection was not the beginning, it was the climax. But if that was true, why had they continued to appear together? Why had they smiled for cameras done? Interviews as a unit, promoted projects as partners? The answer was as chilling as it was strategic: the brand. For years, Remy and Pap had become more than just a couple. They had become a symbol, a product. Joint endorsements, appearances, merchandise, podcast deals, and television opportunities were all tied to the image of them as a couple. Ending their marriage meant ending a financial empire. And in the world of entertainment, love is currency. But behind the scenes, everything was unraveling. One industry insider revealed that a major deal involving a documentary about their love story had recently collapsed. The production company reportedly pulled out once whispers of infidelity and emotional abuse started circulating. Another close source claimed that advertisers had already begun distancing themselves, unwilling to associate with the scandal. Remy's team was in full crisis mode, scrambling to soften the narrative. Sources reported that her PR firm had hired a reputation management expert in crisis consultant to help mitigate the damage. They were allegedly preparing a soft launch campaign of redemption, leveraging personal struggles and misunderstood motives to regain sympathy. But nothing they planned could prepare them for what happened next. Because just when the firestorm seemed to be calming, it reignited, this time fueled by someone no one had expected to speak. A former close friend of the couple, someone who had stayed out of the spotlight for years, came forward with an emotional tell-all interview. They described years of watching Papoose carry the weight of the relationship, emotionally and financially. They claimed that while Papoose stayed loyal, Remy became distant. That he had begged for communication, fought to preserve the bond, and tried everything to protect her image, even when it meant sacrificing his own mental health. The most damning part? They alleged that Remy had been warned multiple times about how her behavior was damaging the relationship, but she had brushed it off as him being too sensitive. The public response was swift and brutal. Within hours, fans flooded Remy's social media with critical comments. Old posts were dug up, many of which were now being seen through a completely different lens. Quotes that once seemed empowering now felt selfish. Moments once considered romantic now looked staged. It was as if the curtain had finally been pulled back and people didn't like what they saw. But Remy wasn't going down without a fight. Just as the backlash reached a boiling point, her team released a carefully produced video, not a sit-down interview, but a stylized montage of her journey. Clips of her time in prison, her comeback performances, interviews about motherhood, her tears, her triumphs. The video ended with one chilling quote flashing across the screen. "You never know the truth until you." Hear both sides. It was powerful, it was emotional. And for a moment, it worked. Sympathy began trickling back in. People remembered her struggle. They remembered how she had once been counted out by the industry only to fight her way back. And in that narrative, some fans found compassion again. Maybe they reasoned she was misunderstood. Maybe her actions came from pain, not malice. Maybe there was more to the story. But even this redemption arc came with a dark twist, because days later, a shocking discovery surfaced. An old voicemail allegedly sent to one of Papoose's closest friends was leaked. In it, Remy was heard venting about the pressures of being a wife to a perfect man. She claimed that no matter what she did, it was never enough. That she felt invisible in the shadow of his perfection. That she hated feeling like a project, a trophy, a redemption story. And with that, the narrative flipped again. Fans began to ask, was this really about betrayal or resentment? Was Remy not just cheating on Papoose, but rebelling against the identity he had created for her? The theory grew traction online. Think pieces were published. Podcasts explored the psychology of a woman seeking freedom from a love story that had been built for public consumption. TikTokers broke down frame-by-frame comparisons of their interviews. Body language, eye contact, everything that could reveal the hidden dynamics behind the facade. At the same time, Papoose's camp grew more silent. He made no posts. Number. Statements, just shadows, but behind that silence was power. His silence spoke louder than any tweet, any livestream, any carefully edited apology, and fans respected that. In a world where everyone rushes to clear their name, his refusal to explain himself became a badge of dignity. And then, just when the world thought the saga couldn't get messier, legal documents surfaced. Allegations of infidelity were one thing, but financial infidelity? That was another level. A leaked bank statement revealed that Remy had moved a substantial amount of money from a joint account into a private one just weeks before being thrown out. The timing raised immediate red flags. Fans and critics alike demanded answers. Was she planning her exit all along? Was this an escape plan masked as a breakup? Speculation turned into fury. Social media was ablaze. Lawyers were now involved. What started as a personal dispute had become a legal chess match, and both sides were lawyering up. Rumors of prenups, custody battles, and spousal support demands began swirling. It was no longer just about love lost. It was about war waged. And amidst the chaos, both Remy and Papoose were being watched like hawks. Every appearance, every move, every Instagram story was analyzed for hidden messages. The pressure was unbearable. And yet, both of them remained impossibly composed in public. But one thing was clear, the person they once knew each other to be was gone. What remained now were two public figures, trapped in a media storm of their own making, trying to navigate the fallout of a love story that had inspired millions. And now warned them of what happens when truth is sacrificed for the perfect image. The next chapter would not be about reconciliation. It would be about survival of careers, of reputations, of identities once so intertwined, now violently split down the middle. And just when it seemed like the narrative had settled, one final betrayal was about to emerge, one that would drag even more names into the fire, and expose secrets so deep, not even their closest friends had seen it coming. And just when the dust seemed to settle, the entire internet erupted yet again. Within hours of the initial footage's viral circulation, a second wave of chaos struck, more raw, unfiltered, and explosive than the first. Part 3 ended with public outrage and Remy Ma's sudden disappearance from the public eye. But what unfolded next would not only deepen the mystery, but push both Remy and Papoose into an irreversible spiral. As millions of viewers across platforms debated the footage's authenticity, a chilling new detail emerged. A former close friend of Papoose, someone who had remained silent for years, surfaced online with shocking claims. In a now deleted podcast episode, he described how Papoose had once confided in him about serious doubts regarding Remy's loyalty. He mentioned that Papoose had installed multiple hidden cameras across their home, not just for security, but peace of mind. That revelation alone sent the internet into meltdown mode. The comment sections of every gossip blog, reaction channel, and celebrity forum became battlegrounds. Half of the internet questioned how far Papoose was willing to go for trust, while the other half was dead silent, waiting for the next bombshell, and it didn't take long to arrive. Because just 36 hours after the initial footage dropped, a second clip leaked. This one wasn't grainy, it wasn't dark. It wasn't suspiciously angled or interrupted by glitches. It was clear as daylight, recorded from a high corner in the living room, a perfect vantage point. The setting, a calm evening, no signs of tension. Remy Ma was pacing the room on the phone. Her voice, though muted, could be interpreted through subtle gestures and facial expressions. And then, with shocking casualness, a man entered the room, not Papoose. Not a family member, but a known rapper from Remy's past, someone she had publicly distanced herself from years ago. What made the clip even more scandalous was the body language. Close proximity, familiar touch, and unmistakable comfort. There was no confrontation. No argument, just a sequence of moments that screamed betrayal to the public eye. Within seconds of the clip surfacing, screenshots went viral. Social media erupted into a frenzy of hashtags, memes, and think pieces. Hashtag Remy Exposed began trending globally. But the real storm was yet to come. Hours after the clip's leak, Papoose re-emerged on social media. He didn't say a word, no video, no message. Just a single Instagram story with a black background. And the words, "I told y'all." That one post was shared over 500,000 times within 2 hours. Celebrities started unfollowing Remy. Fan pages deactivated. Collaborations were canceled. Public support for her rapidly crumbled, and the silence from Remy's camp only made things worse. Behind the scenes, insiders began leaking more details. One report claimed that Remy Ma had hired a crisis PR team weeks before the first footage even dropped, raising eyebrows and sparking new theories. Had she known the footage would leak? Had she been tipped off? If so, why hadn't she gone? Public sinner? Then came the wave of exposes. A former assistant of Remy's anonymously contacted a major gossip site, revealing disturbing accounts of emotional manipulation and secrecy within Remy's household. She described instances where Remy allegedly used covert tactics to maintain control over her inner circle. According to her, Papoose had grown increasingly isolated in recent months, allegedly shut out from family decisions, finances, and even public appearances. The assistant claimed that the footage is just the tip of the iceberg. The truth runs deeper, and it's darker than people think. This sparked an entirely new wave of investigations. Popular YouTubers and content creators began analyzing years of Remy Ma and Papoose's interviews, trying to find signs of tension. Clips that once seemed sweet were now interpreted as cold. Body language experts were brought in. One viral video claimed that in a 2023 red carpet interview, Remy had clearly pulled her hand away from Papoose, a gesture now seen as symbolic. These theories, while speculative, added fuel to the already blazing fire. And yet, in the eye of the storm, Papoose remained eerily calm. No interviews, no statements. Just a series of cryptic posts and strategic silence. Some fans admired his restraint, while others speculated he was preparing for a major legal battle. That theory gained momentum when TMZ broke a massive story. According to leaked court documents, Papoose had recently contacted a family lawyer. The documents, while heavily redacted, hinted at a domestic asset protection inquiry, a term often associated with financial separation and asset safeguarding in the event of divorce. The internet exploded again. Was this the final straw? Had the footage not only exposed emotional betrayal, but also set in motion a financial and personal severance? Remy's team attempted damage control. A vague statement was released. "We are aware of the unauthorized footage circulating online and are investigating its origins and context. We ask for privacy and respect during this time." But the internet wasn't having it. The statement was ridiculed, dissected, and ultimately dismissed by fans and critics alike. What followed was a chain reaction no one saw coming. Remy Ma was removed from a major hip-hop awards nomination list, allegedly due to public controversy not aligning with brand values. Multiple female artists who once supported her began unfollowing and distancing themselves. Even brands she endorsed began deleting content featuring her. She had gone from celebrated to sidelined in a matter of days. Meanwhile, Papoose began receiving massive public support. Rap legends voiced their solidarity. Hashtags like #Justice for PAPOOSE and #ProtectGoodMen started trending. Fans rallied behind him, calling him a symbol of loyalty and heartbreak. Some even launched petitions for Papoose to release a documentary, a full unfiltered account of everything that had transpired. And then came the unexpected twist. A third clip leaked. This one was different. Unlike the earlier ones, this video wasn't from a fixed angle or security cam, it appeared handheld, shaky, covert, and seemingly recorded by Papoose himself. In it, he quietly followed Remy during a late-night event. The video ends with Remy entering a hotel room alone, only for the door to reopen moments later, and the same man from the second clip stepping in behind her. There was no dialogue, no confrontation, just quiet confirmation. The internet broke. Part 4 closes with Remy Ma still missing from the public spotlight. Papoose, now in full control of the narrative, sits atop the headlines while the hip-hop world holds its breath. Because if there's one thing fans now understand, the saga is far from over. And the next chapter might just be the most explosive yet. As the clip of Remy Ma storming out of the hotel room played on loop across countless platforms, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram Reels, and TikTok, Papoose's face remained disturbingly calm in all his public sightings. He wasn't hiding. In fact, he was everywhere, quiet, stoic, calculated. By the time the morning news shows caught up to the wildfire, the narrative had already spun into 1,000 different directions. Some were defending Remy Ma, claiming the footage could be staged. Others swore by its authenticity, pointing out the exact timestamps, comparing outfits from her recent IG posts to the ones in the video and even matching furniture in the hotel. Sweet to the booking details leaked online. But none of that was as wild as what came next. Just as the world thought it had seen everything, just when fans believed the most shocking twist had already unfolded, Papoose uploaded another clip. It wasn't just a follow-up, it was a nuclear bomb. This one didn't feature any confrontation. No yelling, no crying, no hotel rooms. It was a long-form, cleanly edited compilation of surveillance-style footage. Remy Ma at different locations stepping into unfamiliar SUVs, disappearing into back entrances of studios she never mentioned, and sitting in cafes with the same woman multiple times. The woman in question? A minor celebrity chef who had recently gone viral for her Thug Kitchen-style podcast, known for her bold, unfiltered conversations about sexuality and relationships in the hip-hop industry. The video wasn't presented with commentary. It simply showed timestamps, locations, and silent clips. But the message was loud and clear. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a pattern. And for the fans who had still clung to hope, it was the final nail in the coffin. Suddenly, the betrayal wasn't just about infidelity. It was about secrets, lies, and public deception. Papoose had been painted as the supportive husband for years, loyal, unwavering, and protective of his wife, even during her most controversial moments. But this new footage flipped the script. The emotional weight wasn't in what the footage showed, but in what it didn't show. No love, no hesitation, no shame, and then out of nowhere a cease and desist letter hit the internet, leaked by an insider close to Papoose's legal team. It was sent by Remy Ma's lawyers, warning him to stop distributing defamatory material and to take down the footage immediately or face legal consequences. But that only added gasoline to the fire. If it was all fake, why was she trying to stop it legally? In the middle of all this chaos, a former assistant of Remy Ma stepped forward anonymously. Her identity hidden behind a voice distortion and blurred video feed. She appeared in an exclusive interview with a top hip-hop podcast and dropped a bombshell. According to her, not only was the footage real, but it wasn't even the worst of it. She claimed that Remy Ma had been planning to leave Papoose for months. The assistant detailed late-night phone calls, strategy meetings, and even hinted that Remy had signed papers for a separate property with the same woman she was seen with. The audience was stunned. The betrayal wasn't impulsive. It was premeditated. Meanwhile, Papoose continued to remain silent, releasing no more footage, no public statements, no interviews. He simply posted a black and white photo of himself and their child with the caption, "I gave everything for this." The internet exploded again. Celebrities started weighing in. Fat Joe posted a cryptic quote about loyalty being rare. Cardi B liked a tweet that said, "Papoose never deserved this." Nicki Minaj followed Papoose on Instagram out of the blue, fueling speculation that alliances were shifting behind the scenes. Then came the ultimate twist. A second woman stepped forward. Another alleged secret relationship. Another set of photos. Another series of late-night encounters, backed by hotel receipts and DMs. The woman wasn't famous, but the receipts were undeniable. Remy Ma had been juggling two secret lives while appearing on red carpets with Papoose like nothing was wrong. Fans began rewatching old interviews, dissecting her body language, noting every eye twitch and pause in speech. They pointed out how distant she seemed in a recent family vlog. A video that once felt wholesome now looked chilling. But what shook the internet more than anything was Remy Ma's reaction. She finally went live. No glam, no makeup. A dimly lit room and tear-stained cheeks. She didn't deny the footage. She didn't blame editing. She didn't name the women. She just stared at the camera for a full minute in silence, her breathing shaky. Then she said, "I thought I could fix it before it all broke, but it's too late now, all of it. Everything was real." She ended the stream abruptly, and that was it. The clip was reposted thousands of times. Everything was real, trended for 48 hours straight. TikTokers created cinematic edits. Artists remixed it into songs. One fan even got it tattooed on their forearm. In the aftermath, Remy Ma was dropped from a major sponsorship deal with a skincare brand. One of her concert appearances got cancelled due to unforeseen controversy. Papoose deleted all photos of them together from his Instagram. Their anniversary post from last year? Gone? And the woman in the footage? She deleted her social media entirely. No statements, no post, just digital disappearance. Weeks passed. Rumors swirled about divorce filings, about a custody battle, about financial disputes, but nothing was confirmed. No legal documents surfaced. Publicly, no one spoke. Just a heavy, painful silence between two people who had once been hip-hop's most solid couple. One day, Papoose posted a short video of him in the studio alone, headphones on, eyes closed. In the background, the faint hum of a beat played. Then his voice cut through the silence. "You gave forever a time stomp. I gave loyalty and you gave back a backhand. My heart recorded it all like a dash cam. Now the whole world's watching. What you planned." It was clear he wasn't just healing, he was channeling. The fallout didn't fade quietly. It reshaped the way fans viewed relationship goals. The image of black love they had held so dearly had been tarnished. But from the ashes, Papoose stood taller. Broken maybe, but no longer in the shadows. And as the weeks turned into months, one final twist arrived. A book deal. Papoose announced he was writing a memoir. The working title? Unseen Footage. No one knew what would be in it. But everyone knew one thing, they'd be